Hello boys and girls, Mr. Unnamed here once again, and today I'm playing Space Engineers. I got a couple of ships to show you. Ignore the space station there, it's not really finished. Right here we have the Scout Escort vessel. It's a light armored ship meant for long range engagements, and here is the Interceptor. A rather small ship, still in the large ship category, but meant more for skirmishes and taking down other large ships while maintaining as small and slim a profile as possible. So, with that, let's go ahead and get inside these ships and show you around. Now, neither of these ships are equipped with oxygen. I'll go ahead and say that right now. They make heavy use of mods. Mostly because I can't really get oxygen to work in these ships. I don't know why, but they're not filling up with air. As you can see, I'm making use of some slanted armor blocks that have the LCD screens on them. Each station here has a different little thing for them to monitor. Reactor output, power, all that. And in case you're wondering how I set that up, look for, what is his name? I wrote it down here. Master, with 2 M's, Configurable Automatic LCDs. Now this is the bridge of this ship. Looks very nice. Heading down into the interior, we come across our crew quarters. Fairly lavish for a warship, of course. We have our medical bay. State of the art, of course. Up ahead we have the captain's quarters. Well suited to every need they might have, of course. Spoiled and living like a king. He even has his own kitchen and medical room. Continuing still further down, we come to the meat of the ship, the engineering section. As you can see, everything is encased with glass, so if part of that section back there gets blown off and these get popped loose, they're not rattling around in here. And the reactor is less exposed than you would think, being covered with bulletproof glass. Down here we have yet more gyroscopes. We have our AI core and timer block that controls the LCD screens all over the ship. And a battery bank just in case the reactor gets taken out or in case you need to run somewhat silently. Down here we have a secondary antenna, more storage, and a readout of everything we have. As you can see, iron, nickel, all of that. More batteries back here. Scattered throughout the ship so that one lucky shot doesn't take all the emergency power out. Here we have all our conveyors hooked up, running 2 Minotaur turrets on the side, as well as the 3 rail guns and 1 large missile launcher in the front. With assisted aiming from a camera up here. It's a very, very effective weapon system. Maybe in a little bit I'll go ahead and demonstrate the power of this ship against itself or the more heavily armored Interceptor. It has 1 fewer railguns than the Scout Escort, but it has double the firepower for large missile pods. Everything is hooked up from the turrets to the connector down here, which helps to resupply the ship. Getting inside is a bit of a trick with these doors. There we go. Managed to do it without a hitch. And inside you can see, while everything is a bit cramped and compacted, I did not skimp on the expenses to make sure the crew have as comfortable, sanitary, and enjoyable experience as possible while they're getting shot at. The ship takes a crew of 3 people working in shifts when they're not in battle conditions. It does not have the LCD screens, mostly because there's no room to put them in here. Despite being a large ship, it is still rather nimble, and as you can see, roughly about 1/2 to 1/3 the size of the Scout Escort. But like I said, while it may not be as big, it isn't exactly lacking in firepower. Now, I'm sure you're eager to see these ships in action. So, let's go ahead and copy one of these over. Give you a bit of a demonstration. There we go, so I can get some really good shots off on this thing. Now, first things first, I'm going to take some shots with the Scout Escort. I'm not going to bother closing those behind me because there's no atmosphere. Like I said, I just cannot get it to work. Okay. So let's go ahead. Get this set up. I haven't done that yet. Okay, here we go. We've got our railgun prepped and ready to fire. So what do we say we take a shot right about here on the cockpit? Looks like it did quite a considerable amount of damage, but the cockpit still remains. Let's go ahead and let loose with our rocket launcher here. Let's give it another shot with a fairly devastating volley of railgun fire. We still haven't breached into the ship itself. The cockpits are in serious trouble. Then again, with a top-down attack like this, the ship isn't even moving or anything like that. So it is going to fare rather poorly. Let's do another shot over here where the weapons should be. Ooh. We haven't even taken out one of the railguns. One of the rocket pods is severely damaged. It's on fire. Aside from that, though, granted, the railgun is extremely unbalanced, way overpowered. We've got some sparking there. These turrets here are still active, so that's a bit of a problem. And while the cockpits are down, the ship isn't exactly dead. That's because it's powered by a bunch of small reactors. So hitting the ship in one little spot isn't really going to do it. go ahead. A little bit more damage to this thing. And then swap it out for another ship. We have punched a hole clean through it. And yet, it still has power. It's because there are more reactors stuffed inside, right behind here. And behind here. See if we can't get rid of those. Apparently not. Like I said, while the ship may be technically dead, there's still power, and it still could potentially pose a threat. So, let's go ahead and clean that one up. Some of the debris here. And now let's test the interceptor against the scout escort. Fair is fair, after all. Another similar top-down approach. Just like that. Trouble getting in. Okay. Stairs are posing a bit of a challenge. Now let's see. I think the captain's quarters can take a couple of shots. Rather significant damage to the ship as a whole. Let me see. I think engineering is right about here. I'm not even sure if I've cracked into it yet. Oh, I see the green smoke of death. Ship is obviously in serious trouble. And we've severed the front half off this ship. I think that's significant enough damage for the time being. Well, maybe one more shot right on the engine nacelle. Alright. So, let's go see what the damage report says on that LCD screen. I'm sure, since I mentioned it, you're eager to see how that works out. Oh yes, this ship is in serious trouble. However, even with the front end completely severed, it could probably still fly rather well. Unfortunate that the entirety of its weapons are completely gone now. Maybe a bit of a design flaw, but we'll see. So right here, all the power we're getting is from our battery banks. Right here, we see the loadout of all the parts that have been damaged. So let's go ahead and see what we can find out here. Looks like our inventory is pretty much gone. Interesting. Quite a few of our batteries are damaged, but like I said before, since it's so scattered out, a few well-placed shots are not going to completely disable the ship. May only have a handful of batteries left, but they'll be enough to limp back home after the battle. As you can see, the medical quarters are not looking too well. The crew quarters, well, these guys have seen better days. The engineering crew is definitely dead, but if the crew was in the cockpit like they're supposed to be during a battle like that, then they would probably be doing just fine. As you can see right here, yes, damaged loadout, rather significant. It's showing 2 medical rooms, which makes me think that, yes, the AI core and timer block have been completely destroyed, which means that the damage readout, as horrifying as it appears, is not quite accurate. It actually stopped processing all of the information. So I'd say the Interceptor has definitely proven its worth as a very dangerous ship to contend with. And the Scout Escort, as lightly armored as it is, can still take a massive beating. So, that'll be it for this video. I'll see you next time.